We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
I believe that faith and religion play a critical role in the political life of our nation and always have.
In this life of politics, it's useful to go back to Scripture to remind ourselves that none of us has all the answers.
"250 years ago, the Declaration of Independence laid the foundation for a new nation, a nation that highlighted liberty, equality, and rights endowed by a creator. Today, those words are still alive, embraced by students, debated by scholars, and interpreted in ways the founders themselves could never have imagined."
The Declaration of Independence is an interesting document because it's extremely important from an historical perspective. It was our announcement to the world that we intended to be an independent nation.
So how do we understand the role of faith in government as it continues to help shape the American story? Are we staying true to the Declaration's vision, or are we reinterpreting it for modern times?
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The First Amendment has always, religious liberty has always meant something more than freedom to worship. We have the freedom to act upon our religious convictions.
The genius of America is that we're the most religiously diverse nation in human history, and yet we are in a battleground model of diversity.
The founders' religious beliefs were diverse. Some were devout Christians, some deists, while others were skeptical of organized religion entirely. Instead, they emphasized moral grounding and natural law to justify independence, intentionally avoiding tying government legitimacy to one faith alone.
The separation of religion and government, the separation of church and state, however you want to phrase it, is uniquely American. To my knowledge, and from the research I've done, no country had really tried it to the extent that we did in America. And I think the results speak for themselves, and that we have such a robust and vibrant religious community in America.
But going back to this idea of separation of church and state, you go a layer deeper. People that even say that, do you believe in separation of morality and state? Nobody does. So all laws are a reflection of morality, and all morality comes from somewhere. There is no such thing as neutral morality. And we believe what the founders believed, because they put it in the halls of Congress, they put it in the Supreme Court, and they put it all throughout the country, which is that the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, is the core morality of how a society and a civilization should exist.
Everybody, including atheists, live according to their faith. It's just what they decide to put their faith in.
Your personal faith, produces virtue, and the personal faith also provides, I'll call it moral clarity. And we live in a day and age of moral relativism where there's no more absolute truth. Is that, whatever you believe is your truth, whatever I believe is my truth. Well, that can't be true, because absolute truth by definition, only one can be right. And it's very important to have faith as that foundation, because that's what truth comes from. And personally, I believe that comes from the Bible.
Across generations, America has wrestled with its own ideals, faith and freedom, twin forces, oftentimes in harmony, sometimes at odds, with each era redefining what it means to be a nation under both God and law.
And when you look at what James Wilson, signer of the Declaration and Constitution, would talk about, he said, human law must rest its authority ultimately upon the authority that law, which is divine, far from being rivals or enemies. Catch this, he said, religion and law are twin sisters, friends and mutual assistance. Indeed, these two sciences run into each other.
When the government tells you what you can believe and what you cannot believe, that is a significant loss in our freedom.
The Declaration of Independence is much more than a political document. It constitutes a spiritual manifesto, declaring not for this nation only, but for all nations, the source of man's rights.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another,
and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them.
A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights,
that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness,
that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
250 years ago, words on parchment declared freedom as a birthright. Today, those words still breathe, through faith, through doubt, and through the questions we keep asking. In doing so, it continues to help shape the American story.